We are students at the University of Delaware exploring the different aspects of diversity. These are the real-life experiences of 3 students on campus.
I'm Joe. I'm a senior at UD. I'm a double major in criminal justice and political science. I think that saying that you have panic disorder, saying that you've been through depression, saying that you get like you have a severe form of anxiety is it's almost it's a little bit stigmatized. Whether people just want to discredit you and say, oh, like you're fine, that's not real, just like handle yourself better, or people think like everyone gets a panic attack. Oh, like and a lot of people discredit like anxiety and panic disorder and things like that. But it's like it's not those giant attacks that I get that kind of I think define it. It's the fact that like every day, like I'm analyzing everything I'm thinking at the same time that I'm trying. Like it's the little things where I can't. Like I'm constantly in my own head. I was coming out of school and I had been taking this math test and like I couldn't finish the test. I'd be sitting there just working on those timed multiplying tables and all of a sudden I would freeze. And it's like you'd get dizzy. I would have to go to the bathroom. I couldn't handle anything, and I knew that something was up. And I was freaking out. I was sweating. I was shaking. I couldn't stop my hand from shaking as I'm trying to write, and I was frozen. So I went to the bathroom like 4 times. Just had to walk around the halls and try to calm myself down. And no matter what, I couldn't. To a point where it's like, it drives me insane sometimes. And those add up to these giant attacks, which are debilitating. But they don't come as often as like just it's like every moment of every day. Like I've had situations where I've told a friend who I trusted and they told a friend, and then I have someone random come up to me at the bars and all of a sudden I get these pity eyes like, oh, like, hey, are you okay, like how's it going, like do you want to talk, I'm always here for you. And if I needed you, I would talk to you. Like I have those people. I don't need you. When you first start to feel that way and you have no idea what's going on with you, it really does feel like the world is ending. And then 15 minutes to a half hour, you might have a bad day where it happens a couple times, or you're always feeling a little bit anxious, but everything, the physical stuff at least starts to go away a little bit. You stop sweating so much, you stop shaking so much, you can control your breathing a little bit. It wasn't me, it wasn't a problem with me, it was just something that was going on in my brain that I couldn't really control as much. I think owning that and accepting it is something that I realized that's just kind of who I am. I can handle this on my own. I wanted to know that I could handle it on my own.
I'm a senior at the University of Delaware. I'm a marketing major. There's a bunch of diversity for sure, but most likely Caucasian. I realized that I wasn't straight when I had a girlfriend. I did love her, but I would meet different people and I would meet guys and I would be like, what is this feeling, And that's when I realized that I am not straight. So after coming out, I did notice, not discrimination, luckily, but I did notice people treating me differently. But I do notice that there are some guys that they do keep their distance. And for example, I remember this one guy who I'm friends with, just friends, and he was hanging out with me and he was like, yo, my boys were like, yo, why are you hanging out with him? He's gay, isn't that weird? Because as a kid, people would claim that I was gay and call me these gay slurs. And it got to me. I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to fight against that and be like, I'm still me and I'm not what you say I am. And there's no worse feeling for me than not being my authentic self. It's like now when they meet me, they're going to look for gay qualities and they're going to look for mannerisms and the stereotypes of gays. It's what you see in movies, it's what you see in media, and it's like, it's so gross when a guy does it, but when a girl does it, it's hot. When you're going through it and you're struggling, it's the biggest thing and that's the only thing on your mind. I did try to fight it. I did try to deny it, and fighting these feelings, fighting your heart, it really puts a toll on you. It's just not healthy. If I'm telling my truth and I'm being unapologetic for who I am, then at least I know that I'm being me.
Hey, I'm Mike. I'm 22. I'm a psychology major, and ethnically I identify as Afro-Latino. My family is both from Costa Rica, but throughout my whole entire life, everybody's just misidentified me as like the black kid. Diversity here is existent in some cases, but it's a big divide. Like white people hang out with white people, black kids hang out with black kids. Like my friend groups, like I have a friend group that's full of all black people, and then other friend groups, like I'm the only black guy in the whole entire group. A lot of times, black people aren't really accepting of like white people into our groups. I would be lying if I said I never felt discriminated against on campus. I've been called the N-word before. I've been called it a couple times. I've seen people joke about it, like not knowing, like okay, that's really not cool to say. Like I can name a friend that would like say like racist jokes, thinking that was funny, but when I was like, "Yo, never say it again," like they were actually, I could see the fear in their eyes, and they were like, "Yo, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't know it was that bad." Until like I go into the store and then I see the people looking at me, think I'm gonna go steal something. When I go in for an interview or something, I can see the look on their face when they're like, "Oh, I did not expect him to be like this dark guy coming in for the job interview." When we grow up and we have kids, like we have to tell them like, be careful around the police. Like when the police are supposed to be the protectors of our society, and when we have to say like, make sure you're careful around the police. And my mom had to tell me like, whatever the police say, just do it. So that way, because we do one thing that's out of line, and then our lives could be over like that, and that's extremely scary. The racism has always been there, but it's been buried. Honestly, the only way to fix it is just time. Like there's so much culture in the United States especially, that it's really hard to just identify one person as like a single race. And I don't think that should be. It's like I walk around with like a chip on my shoulder because I know how I look and how like certain people are gonna think. But then I want to rise to that challenge and prove everybody wrong and show that we're good people, we're regular, we're smart. Like there's no reason to discriminate us. We're just as good as the next person next to us.
We have become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic.
Different people, different beliefs.
Different yearnings, different hopes.
Different dreams.